Thank you so much for joining me today, both of you.
Of
Very
course.
welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you too. And congratulations, the film will be released on September 15th, which is actually this Friday,
True.
exclusively to Shudder. So the movie, I actually really enjoyed it. And what really got me was it felt like it was like made for like the new generation, like the Gen Z. And even though I'm not in that generation, I was able to go back and compare it to films that I watched when I was younger. And it kind of was like that nostalgia feel for myself. And
Mm.
it really took me back. And even though I'm 42 years old, I was still able to enjoy this film, even if I was like 22 years old. So that was great. I think it's really going to make an impression on the Gen Z, on that generation. Um, and the folklore that's behind it, is it I read a couple different things. Was it with the Cecil Hotel? Is that where this story originated from?
Mm. It didn't originate there. I think it originated. We tried to trace it back almost 2 decades or so to Korea or Japan. It's not really clear where it
Mhm.
originated. And then from there it started spreading. And what happened once it was on the internet and once people were playing it and they also posted their gameplay, their experiences, their testimonials of what they experienced. Um, I think the game started to be tied to certain incidents, real life incidents, people disappearing, people getting killed. The incident at the Cecil Hotel was one of those. Um, we haven't we've stayed away from that. I think everyone knows by now that what happened there was a tragic accident, and that Eliza Lamb she wasn't well. And there was no reason for us to use that as a reference or a jumping off point. We felt that the myth itself had enough to give, um, without tapping into a tragic incident like that.
And from the producer's standpoint on this film, what was the most challenging part for you?
I think in the beginning it was to figure out, how we want to approach it. Travis Seppala delivered a great script, and I think he did he made a lot of the decision for us. But obviously, there's a lot of different variations of that urban legend out there, uh, different in terms of what floors, how many floors, rules in general. Um, but what they all have in common is that once you finally get to the fifth floor, no matter how you get there, and you play the game right, the fifth floor woman comes in, and you're not supposed to look at her and talk to her. So we started with that, and we really wanted to, stay as close to that original myth, in terms of how we also created the fifth floor woman. We didn't want her to be like some ghostly specter or something like that. We wanted her to be a real supernatural entity, a bit like um, Bloody Mary,
Yeah.
or Slender Man, um, and let that really inform how we want her to look and move and her origin story. So that was, I think that took a while, for us to really figure that out. Then the Red World, which if you go online is described so many in so many different ways. We had to sort of like boil that down and see what works for us. Um, and Yeah, but that was probably it. Creating that character,
Yeah.
deciding on that set of rules that we want to follow, and um, and then create that red world for Ryan's encounter with her, the faithful woman.
And you brought up the Bloody Mary, and that's a really great comparison. Both because it was this character. I mean, sometimes when you create these, it can go either way, it can go bad or good. And I really thought that the story was good, with the fifth woman floor. I mean, the woman on the fifth floor, because and using the elevator because we use elevators all the time, especially when we're staying in hotels. So it's something that's that piece that everybody can relate to. So I'm
Mhm.
wondering if this is going to do what Jaws did for going in the ocean, if this will do what, the same thing with elevators.
That's every filmmaker's dream
Yeah,
Yeah.
that happens. I mean, let's see. I hope people have fun watching the movie, and then they should go out and play the game and tell us what happened. I have still not played it, I have to say. I fall into that category of I don't believe these type of urban legends, but there is always that little element of what if,
yeah.
Mhm.
and that just scares me just enough to just not meddle with it.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. I think I'm kind of the same way. I just would prefer not to mess with it. And
Mhm.
Gino, your character Ryan, he came in kind of into the story with kind of a hidden agenda, to everything, which I thought was a great twist on the story. And there was a lot of comedy between all the characters, which was marvelous. And it
Mhm.
kind of started out as like almost like a little light comedy, and then like it just took a turn. The horror element kind of settled in. Was there any part in the film that you absolutely loved filming? Was your favorite part to film, or anything that was very difficult for you?
Yeah, I think I loved, and it's cliche. I loved a lot of I loved everything that we filmed.
Yeah,
Um, but going into the Red World for the first time, because I'm reading the script and I'm reading the script. I know what we're shooting. Um, and then in my own mind, I'm imagining what the Red World is. I'm imagining what it's going to look like from Chino's perspective. And then you show up on the day and it's just Ryan. It's
yeah,
just Ryan and going into the Red World and seeing what it looks like and seeing it for the first time, I was like, whoa, okay, this is going to be so much fun. This is going to be a blast. And that's exactly what it was. Like Stefan set up um, a beautiful opportunity for myself and for Rebecca and for Brad, our cinematographer, and for everybody in the crew to see what the Red World was made of. And we created it, and it's so fun for kind of what Steph said. Um, there's so many different explanations of what the Red World looks like, which I feel like then gives everybody on the production an opportunity to just create um, kind of like their own within the realm of what we think it is, but it's kind of our own. It's our own red world that we were all able to create together. So I think that was the most challenging, especially being alone in the red
yeah.
world and running around and seeing that. Yeah,
And the elevator is a major character in the film.
completely.
Was that on a set, or did you actually find a building to film that in?
We, Steph, I don't know if you want to take this, but we were lucky enough to get a bunch of crew to build it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in downtown Winnipeg, there's a former police precinct which is empty, and we were lucky enough to basically have our production offices there and all our interior sets, except for the restaurant. Um, we and our crew built this amazing elevator set that we had full control over, that we used from beginning to end. So we love that experience. That gave us a lot of control,
Yeah.
Yeah.
contrary to the Red World, which was probably the most challenging setup. It was outside, it was an entire street block that had to be prepared. The lighting, the weather was rather temperamental that day. We had Samantha Hallas, who plays the fifth woman, in full makeup and costume, barefoot. Um, you know, doing her thing with Ryan. So that was probably the the most challenging, days.
And you would have never have known because it came out great. And how long was your shooting schedule on this one, on the entire film?
It was 20 days. 20 days.
And did the ending, was this the original ending that you guys had intended for? The ending we got?
We've played with the ending a lot,
Yeah.
and there were actually 3 different endings. And we settled on this one, also because we wanted to give the hero's journey that Ryan's been on all
Yeah.
movie. We wanted to give him a like an ending that you can interpret different ways, that maybe sees him find his sister. um and I think he deserved that.
Yeah.
Character deserved that. That's why in the end we settled on that one.
And I went back and watched the very ending again just to make sure I had got everything. And I did jump. I've got to admit, I've been watching these movies for years, but I did jump at the very end. I'm not going to say what really part. I don't want to give it too much away, but
Yeah,
it did give me a jump scare, which it hasn't happened to me in a while, but
I
it did
love that.
get me.
this is great to hear. Honestly, that makes me very happy.
Yeah.
I was watching this on my iPad. I was not on a big screen with surround sound or anything. This was on my iPad. So yeah, I can't wait to watch it actually on a television and
Yeah.
see what kind of feeling I get from it. Is there anything that you two are working on right now that you can discuss?
Well, I'm back to the non-glamorous part of film production and putting projects together. We're working on one script with the writer of Elevator Game, with Travis Sepala, but nothing I can talk about right here. And Gino's always busy.
I try to stay busy. No, just kind of as of right now, same thing. Don't know if I can say too much,
Yeah,
but
it's understandable.
we finished a TV show called Safe Haven. It's 10 episodes. Not sure when it's going to come out, but it's a horror thriller TV show. Um, but it looks great.
Very good. And I gotta wrap it up here in just a minute, but I wanted to ask you too. I'm a big fan of Rebecca, your director. I imagine that was just a blast working with her.
It was, I think what we were also, very happy with is going in that we identified one of the few female horror directors. There's not that many, and we are big believers in adding, underrepresented voices to horror. Female directors are certainly part of that, and so we were very lucky to have her, and yeah, you know,
She's very knowledgeable.
she's a fun director, she's a fun
Well,
character.
only a minute to talk about Rebecca. That's not
No,
enough.
it's never enough.
That's
No,
never
it is
enough.
not. It is not. No.
Yeah, she was amazing. She was amazing to work with.
That's great to hear. And thank you, both of you, so much. Congratulations. And the film will be out this Friday, September 15th, exclusively on Shudder.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. It was a
Right. Thank
pleasure.
Thank you so
you.
much, Ryan.
Take
You're
care.
awesome.
Take care.